Okay, I'm close to an 8 million turnover. I'm close to 8 million in turnover and considering building a C-suite. How do you decide when to do this? I guess it really depends on what you're trying to achieve. Removing the key man risk from yourself is a huge tick in the box if you're looking to exit. And then, also bringing in talented individuals removes emotion from decision making, and you can also bring in network or their sort of Rolodex of business, which can help you get to the next phase if you recruit the right people. And recruitment isn't cheap, and it also is quite hard to make sure you're recruiting the right talent at that sort of level as well. But look, you recruit the right people, it definitely professionalizes the business. I'm not saying you haven't already, but these are some of the things to be thinking about before recruiting, because, like I said, recruiting can be very expensive, and, a wrong hire at C-suite can be very, very costly. But I guess on the flip side, the right hire, as I said, can be a game changer. So the reason why I'm skeptical of C-suite hires is because I've seen people hire, non-execs, and they haven't done anything. They're just picking up a retainer. And I've also, seen one company. This one was actually about to take equity in. It was in the US. We presented a plan to them on what we could do, and then they went out and tried to do it themselves, and they ended up spending almost $1 million on a C-suite, and it didn't do anything, nothing for the business at all. And then they found, out themselves that they was in the same place a year later. So, the big question is, what do you want out of a C-suite? Because you can over-engineer this too early, and the business ends up feeling very busy, but sometimes it's not effective. And every senior hire that you make should be an investment, not a cost. And plus, guys, it can be a culture shock, especially to founder-led teams. A C-suite does start to make sense if the owner's the bottleneck, or if you are looking to raise debt or external capital to grow. Fractional roles are becoming a lot more popular. Fractional CFOs, but they can be great, right? But when you're looking at, say, COOs, or say fractional COOs or fractional CROs, I would personally want them in the business full time to get the most out of them. But I'm seeing a lot of these fractional other C-suite level executives popping up now, because a C-suite's more about leverage than anything else. I'd probably pop your constraints and details of your business in one of the LLMs, and then you can prompt it with some unbiased prompts on what you want to achieve and what you want out of a C-suite, and you can work out if this is something that you actually need right now. Again, look, I can be more specific if I have a bit more context, guys. And look, you can also dial in on these calls too. We can schedule a call, and you can dial into the show, ask these questions live, and then it just becomes a bit easier, and then we can bounce ideas back and forth. So, but I hope that helps. Yeah, C-suite, really think about what it is you want from a C-suite before starting to hire, because it can be very costly if you get it wrong.